I am a podcaster, an audio engineer, and a business owner. I'm also interested in your story. We're interested in your story. Welcome to the All Things Black podcast, where I help to tell stories of greatness from the perspectives of blackness. I interview entrepreneurs, authors, educators, aspiring men and women who are doing great things in the black community, whose stories need to be told and heard. That's you. I talk about generational wealth creation, buying black, educating black youth, mentorship, relationships, and much, much more. Join us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcast, and a host of other streaming platforms. I drop new and exciting episodes every Wednesday, so make sure you tune in. You just might hear someone that you know. You might hear some very, very great information. God bless. Welcome to the All Things Black podcast with your host, Mr. Black Ovation. It is new episode Wednesday, and we have an interesting topic for you today. Today, we're going to be talking about black love and the must-haves of a good relationship. And I have a very special guest with me today to talk about that subject. But first, before we get started, I want to thank you, the listening audience, for listening to my show in advance and supporting me in my efforts to try to give you the best show possible. And speaking of supporting the show, I would like you guys to go to your favorite streaming platform, that is i.e. Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, whatever the case may be, and go and like, share, rate the show, and leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. And this is a new one. Yes, donate to the show. Donating to the show is a huge help to me to make the show a little bit better for you guys and continue to make great content to listen to. So please support the show by making a small contribution. So back to the show. Again, our topic today is black love and the must-haves of a good relationship. And here with me to discuss that topic today is a wonderful and beautiful couple, Brother Amir and his lovely wife, Amani. So here's what we're going to do, dear brother and sister. So I'm going to give you guys this stage, and I want you to introduce yourself, also your businesses, because one of the things I forgot to mention right away was that you guys are serial entrepreneurs. I want you to talk about your businesses, talk about who you are, and then after that, we'll do a little bit more, organization, and then we'll get right into the subject, okay? So the stage is yours. It doesn't matter who goes first. Just jump right into it.
I'm Amar Amari. I am, as my brother said, a serial entrepreneur. I am a licensed life and health insurance producer. My queen and I, we are also real estate investors. We control multiple online stores under the umbrella of Alkebalon Lifestyle, where we provide African and urban men's and women's apparel, accessories, health and beauty products for your needs.
And I'm Amani Amari. I share businesses with my husband. I'm a licensed freight broker. I am working on my licenses for insurance. I'm also co-CEO of Alkebalon Lifestyle, and we also have a networking business and Synergetic Network Group. And I am also a real estate investor.
I love it.
Additionally, too, we are both motivational speakers as well. So I wanted to mention that too. We actually do paid speaking engagements as well.
That's exactly what I wanted you guys to actually talk about up front. That way the listening audience gets a chance to know about your businesses and things like that. Are there any special projects coming up anytime soon that the listeners need to know about?
Yes, we actually just recently started a group on Clubhouse. for our people in the arena of education, of business, and finance. So as we all know, it's important for us to control so we won't be controlled. It's a safe place for us to be able to be our African authentic selves. And for those who was in this continent already, our indigenous selves, so we wanted to be able to create that atmosphere to where we can learn by us, for the benefit of us. And so we have it every Thursday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we have subject matter experts come on in all the above arenas to, again, empower us in those areas.
Yes, sir. Well noted. Now, so you're on the, basic social media platforms, Instagram, you got your websites and stuff like that, right? Any kind of Facebook or anything?
Yes, we are on, as far as El Kebelon Lifestyle, we are on Facebook and we're on Instagram, and we do have a website, which is www.elkebelonlife.com. ALKEBULAN life LIFE.com.
Perfect. All right. So with that being said, and we'll get a chance to talk about a little bit of the businesses a little bit later on in the conversation. As I said, yes, sir. As I said in the earlier part of the recording, the episode, that the topic of discussion is going to be about Black love and the must-haves of a good relationship. So, Brother Amor, I want to start with you, sir. Since a lot of us, as men, should be leaders in our community, in our homes, and things like that. I definitely want to start with you. The Bible talks about a man finding a wife being a good thing. So I want to start off just like this. It's going to be a little bit, reminiscent. You guys get a chance to go down memory lane and stuff like that. So, but my first question, my first question to you, sir, would be, how did you find your wife?
I actually started communicating with her via Facebook, and then we transitioned to doing what was that program during the time? Yes, we communicated on Glide. We want to make sure, that beauty was real. She wanted to make sure the handsomeness was real, And so, she and I, we communicated on there, man. And then we ended up meeting up at a mutual friend's home in South Carolina to solidify whether or not we were going to go forward, because we were interested in one another just that much, of course. And so from there, man, we took it to another level. Honestly, brother, she and I only dated for approximately about 3 months. It was about less than that, and I said she's the one, man, and because she stood out from the rest. One thing about a wife is unique. And let me say this too also, brother, that same verse that you quoted, she and I literally was talking about that today.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let you know that, bro. I lie not. She and I literally talked about that same verse today.
I love it.
And my wife is definitely a virtuous woman, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my queen.
I love it. So there was definitely some things that attracted you beyond the beauty of sister. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. So definitely.
Man.
And you're talking about less than 3 months?
Oh yeah. I knew, man. I promise you, bro. I literally heard it because I'm a spiritual man. So I'm unapologetically that. And I heard that in my spirit. My wife is the only woman I have ever heard in my life that I dated and have been married to. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, I've been married before. I never heard in my spirit, she's the one. And then when my family met her, they said things about her that they never said about my ex-wives or any of my former girlfriends. I promise you. So I was like, this is amazing. Like, I can't lie to you. I wasn't looking for that because I'm the one who had to be married to. her, but you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just being honest. I wasn't looking for them to approve. You know what I'm saying? Because I already knew in my spirit that she is the one, because I never had that happen before. So anyway, man, I got confirmation in my spirit, you know, about her. She is the one.
That's interesting, because I was going to ask you that very question. What let you know that she was the one? Because I know a lot of women have this. I've talked to a lot of women, and they have that question. You know, they want to know from men. Mm-hmm. They want to know from men what lets the man know that woman is that one. And you kind of talked about your experience. You know, it was something that you felt in your spirit.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to say, I think it's personal. Because for me, it was her, first of all, it wasn't just her beauty, because beauty is not going to keep you married.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? So for my queen, it's her intellect, it's her wisdom, you know, and it's her maturity, it's her character. It's all of the above, man. You know, and she never asked me for nothing. She already had her own, you know, she didn't need me. She already had her medical. She already had her dental. You know, she you know that Miss Independent, you understand?
Yes, sir.
She Miss Independent. So, brother, for me, you know what I'm saying, her being spiritually grounded too, because that's me, man. I have to have a woman that's spiritually grounded for me. I'm a spiritually grounded man, and I know the importance of being spiritually grounded and living by solid morals. You know what I'm saying? It's because of the lack thereof that our families are in disarray. But that's another story. So for myself, that's how I knew she's the one.
Perfect. I love it. So the listening audience, specifically the ladies, listen at how this brother is talking about his queen. Listen at how he's talking about her. He knows, like, he knows this is like an absolute, period. There's nothing else behind that.
No doubt.
There's no doubt whatsoever. So pay attention to that. But so let me ask you this question then. Before this occurred, were you doing any kind of work on yourself? Was there any kind of internal work that you were doing to, you know, for this to happen, or what?
Absolutely, man. You know, again, like I said, I'm definitely a praying man, you know, so my spiritual life had a whole lot to do with it. My sensitivity to the spirit, you know, had a whole lot to do with it. You know, my consciousness being in tune, you know, with my spirit being, you know what I'm saying? My higher self, you know, so, you know, I definitely had spent time, you know, in prayer, and also, you know, making sure I was grounded even economically. Because when I met her, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like I was rich, but her brother definitely wasn't broke. So, you know, I made sure I was gym too. I was getting it in, you know. But I just said that'd be funny. I always stayed in shape. I didn't do it for a woman, because every woman got her own desires. But nevertheless, though, I made sure that I was together spiritually and economically, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And I made sure that I worked on myself. You know, I had my life in order. Because how could I have a stable relationship and I'm unstable?
Yes, sir.
So I had to make sure I was mentally stable and financially stable. And that's what I did, man. I made sure I prepared myself, and also not having unrealistic expectations. You know, I had to help myself to understand, like, listen, man, she's not going to be perfect. Even though she's the one for you, she's not going to be perfect, and you have to accept her flaws. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's acceptable, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it, man. I love it 100%. Sis, so I'm going to ask you, can you bear witness to what this brother is saying? Because you know him, okay? I want to get your take on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to get your take on this.
He's telling the truth. I mean, you know, our relationship was just kind of spontaneous. It happened, you know. I remember when he first inboxed me, or we first spoke, I called a meeting. He was in North Carolina. I called a meeting between my parents and my children. And I said, look, my husband is coming down. I said, and I'm getting married. And that's after a couple of days of even just him saying hi. So I already knew.
Well, now. Wow. Okay.
He didn't know I was already making the preparations. Exactly.
She said, my
and my
husband
mom
is
and dad
coming
looked at
down.
me like, what?
So when you said that outwardly, they didn't really have any kind of realization that you were sincere and for real.
Yeah, they was confused. They really was confused as to what, who. We didn't meet anybody, but I just told them that, you know, he's coming down and he's coming down to stay. And that's before, I promise you, it's before we even had that conversation, before we even came face to face. I believe it was upon us speaking, it was less than 2 weeks. I was on a plane up to South Carolina, and he was driving from North Carolina to South Carolina. So it was something that, you know, kind of went full speed. It wasn't no lollygagging around. It was, you know, we have to make the determination on which way we're going with this. And we both knew within ourselves that that was the one. This is it. We're not going to miss this boat. We're not going to miss this train.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. That's good. And like I say, I wanted to get your perspective on that as well. You know, get your feedback and, you know, have you talk, because again, you know, you guys are a couple. You're on here to express your experience and talk about the different things that, you know, that got you to the point where you're at right now. I want to ask the
Absolutely.
both. Yeah, I want to ask the both of you guys this question. What were the must-haves, or did you express the must-haves to each other before you actually got married? Like this is what I absolutely need from you, and you know, either before getting married or in the marriage process.
Yeah, for me, my must-haves were, I needed him to be honest. I needed him to, you know, allow me to trust him. I needed him to be a man's man. I needed him to have character, integrity, heart. I needed him to have love. It wasn't so much about the amount of money he had. It wasn't so much about the benefits he had. Those were all great. But I was concerned about how he was going to treat me as an individual, how he was going to treat me as a woman. You know, because at that particular time, he was a bishop, so to speak. And one of the things that I never, even though I myself have a bachelor's in Christian education, I never wanted to be married to a minister, you know, because I believe that ministers would, you know, hit you over the head with the Bible and try to make you do all type of things that, you know, that would, you know, suppress you as an individual. So I needed to make sure all of those things were in check, because I couldn't be in a relationship with someone that was going to put me in a box or close me off. It wouldn't work. So he had everything that I was looking for and more. And I believe that every prayer that I prayed over a period of 7 years had been answered when I met this man.
Wow. Okay. I like it. Dear brother, what about you?
Yes, I definitely had expressed the maturity level that I was looking for. And just simply, you know, allowing me to express who I really am. You know, that was a big problem that I had in prior relationships, man. You know, I expressed myself and I'm beating you down, and you know, I just wanted to be heard fully out. You know, being able to just express myself, and you know, I know she didn't have to agree with everything I said, but just let me express myself. You know what I'm saying? And don't expect me to be the end all be all to everything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, nah, we in this together. So, you know, I wanted teamwork, man, you know, because sometimes, you know, a man, there's a burden put on the man a lot of times, and some men don't want to admit that, hey, I need your help.
Right.
And I was humble enough, brother, you know what I'm saying? First of all, I wasn't born into a wealthy family. So we had to have some type of understanding. Hey, look, I'm not wealthy, so don't be looking at me to be, you know, taking care of everything, because, you know. Hey, I'm just being honest. Because I knew I was trying to bounce back for some previous relationships, so I needed some understanding in that arena. And I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, if you're looking for a brother that's rich, hey, I'm not the one. I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? But what I will do is I will ensure that I help you to hold it down. I will definitely do my part. But honestly, bro, I wasn't in no situation where I can handle everything at the time. You know what I mean? So I appreciated her not beating me down or trying to make me feel less than a man, because I couldn't at the time financially do everything. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciated her understanding about that, you know, and loving me more than she loved money. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about my wife. You know, she literally loved me, and it was obvious because I wasn't rich when she met me. So I love the fact that she wasn't just all about the dollars, because I'm like, hey, some of us men are good men. We may not be, you know, rich, you know what I'm saying? But we rich in love, we rich in wisdom, and we're willing to put in the work to get there, to be wealthy, so we can, you know, be economically sound in our family.
Say that. Yes, sir. 100% agree. You know, man, just listening and, you know, to you guys and some of the things that you just got through talking about and what the sister said. You know, there's so much power, man, in a virtuous, in a good virtuous woman. There's so much power in a good woman like that. You know, cause I'm listening at you. I'm listening at how you're talking and what she was able to help you out with, you know, and helping you grow as a man. You know, there's a lot of women that don't want to even think about going on that route. You know, you're as a man, you're already supposed to be made. You know, it's like you come prepackaged, like something off the shelf. You know what I'm saying? I could just take the wrapper off of, and then boom, I got instant man. You know, but no, it's not like that. Even those of us that, you know, that are financially stable and have certain things already accomplished. Guess what? The growing process never stops. It never stops. So you know, so to have somebody in your corner, man, that's going to be able to help you, you know, help nurture you into the man that you are still becoming. I don't give a damn how old you are. The man you're still becoming is immeasurable. You know what I'm saying? So kudos. I do. Yeah, man. Kudos. You know, big congratulations on, you know, finding a sister like that. I think that's real. I think that's very powerful for you guys, and congratulations.
Thank you. May I make this statement too?
Yes, sir.
That my wife, she did help me. When you said my wife did help me, she did, brother. She helped me to grow, you know, spiritually, physically, and financially. And I say that because she was the one who introduced me to our spiritual system that I follow. Now, I'm an African spiritualist. You know what I'm saying? I follow after Ifa. However, you know, she was the one who introduced me to Dr. Sabi with my health, man. I almost checked out of here. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? And she introduced me, and that's a true story. I really did. My wife was in the restroom when I almost checked out of here, man. She was the one who held my head up. She was the one who was praying for me. She was the one who was there for me. You understand what I'm saying? When I almost lost my life, and I'll be honest with you, man, I'm getting kind of teary-eyed even talking about it, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? That meant a whole lot to me, man. She was there for me when I almost left here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And so not only that, you know what I'm saying, economically, it was my wife that put, you know, a financial book in my hand. When I talked to her about finances and wanting to grow and wanting to learn, because I was asking her a lot of questions, because see, my wife, you know, she's the investor. You know what I'm saying? We got here to where we are today because of her knowledge and wisdom and understanding about investing. My wife invested her way off of being a W-2 employee to being self-employed. I watched my wife do this, man.
Beautiful.
Budgeting, investing. And she was the one that shared the information with me and helped me to become economically savvy. And now look at me. You know, I'm starting multiple businesses, man, you know, for our family, building generational wealth.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's the stories that I like to hear. You know, especially in the day and times that we live in, you know, when so many black men and women are at each other's throat, you know, about whose fault it is that the decay of the black community is, it you know, it in the shape that it's in right now. You know, I think that's actually terrible. When we can actually just get rid of all of that and begin to work together, you know, cooperate with each other, and then and change all of that. It's just really ridiculous. So you guys, and you know, from the conversation that I'm having, are shining examples of those of us that, you know, would want something like that. Right about now, we're gonna take a quick break, and you know, we're gonna come back and we're gonna continue this conversation, and you know, we'll be right back. Are you a business looking for more exposure and want to gain more followers or potential customers? If the answer to the question is yes, let us help you by exposing your business or idea to our podcast listening audience. Our professionalism and podcast knowledge, along with great sounding audio, will help garner the customers you want for growing your business. Contact me about advertising on my show. The contact information is available in my show notes and on my website at atbpodcast.com. All right, we are back. This is the All Things Black podcast. I am your host, Mr. Black Ovation. I am talking with a wonderful couple, my brother Amir and sister Amani, and they have been expressing their experience in coming together as man and wife, and their several businesses that they have together and stuff like that. We left off with the brother saying some very interesting things about his wife and the things that she was able to help him with as a man. And sister kind of wants to piggyback off of that. I guess I shouldn't say piggyback, but she wants to give her she wants to talk about that or elaborate on it. So go right ahead, sis.
Yes, I have to commend my husband because it wasn't a time that he fought against knowledge. He never fought against growth. He never fought against change. He never said to me that you're a woman, you can't say what you're saying. Because if he had done that, we would not be elevated. Now my husband, he's elevated to a place where, you know, he has taken off. Because we know that us coming together and combining our what we have together, we became like rocket fuel and we lifted off. And I want to say to any woman out there or any man that's in a relationship, you really, really have to learn to bond and be together. You know, you really, really have to learn how to, you know, whatever is his positive, to allow him to be that. Whatever your positives are, allow yourself to be that. You know, because even when it comes down to some of the roles that they would call gender roles or what have you, we don't blur the line. If he's good at it, then so be it. If I'm good at it, then so be it. You know, so, and that's allowing each of us to be individuals first, you know, to flow in your creativity, to flow in who you are. I also want to say that, you know, a lot of times we have stipulations and some things that can be worked on, like credit, for example. When I met my husband, both of us, you know, I wasn't using any credit cards or anything, and we had less than perfect credit, but we worked on that. Had I said to him, you know what, your credit is in the dump, we wouldn't be together right now. Or if he said the same thing to me, we wouldn't be together right now. And being that, you know, we assisted each other in that area, when it came down to, I'm just going to say, when it came down to us purchasing this house, you know what I mean? I was able to take some of his debt and bring it onto myself, co-sign some of my good credit card onto him so that he could be given a mortgage. You follow me what I'm saying? So yes, he solely alone was able to get a mortgage because of our work together. So, you know, I think that we need to think this thing through. Some things that we call the end may not be the end. Just work on it one step at a time, and you'll get through and you'll get to where you're going.
Beautiful, sis. Thank you so much for sharing that, actually. That's inspiring, you know. And I say that because there's so many women out there now that don't want to even entertain the thought of even having a good or decent man that may be in shambles in some areas, and they don't even want to bother that. It's like, I don't want to touch that. You have to be 100% perfect, you know, in order for me to even bother or
Not
deal
wasn't
with
perfect either.
you know, and that's the thing. None of us really are. Even if you have it together in the financial realm, again, there's something that's amiss, and I don't think we really examine each other in that way. And I think that's because, you know, because we got the money. You know, the money covers up a lot. You know.
Yeah.
The money covers up a lot. The money covers up a lot of trauma. You know, abuse. You know, dysfunction. It just covers up so much, and we don't really get a chance to examine ourselves because we have the money. You know, but I love it though. So I don't want to, waste any more time. And I know you guys are busy, but I do want to get to these last two questions that I do have for you.
Okay.
What do you got? And I think you kind of already addressed it. To be totally honest, what do you guys do to maintain your marriage?
We keep the flame burning, my brother. We put the logs, if you will, in the fire of romance, man.
Okay.
Do you like that, Queen? You like that? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, we go on our dates. Man, we date every weekend, brother. I lie not, man. I don't do anything on Friday and Saturday. We don't, you know, after we take the few packages that we take, because, you know, we got our online business. But after that, you know, we actually spend time with each other, man. And that's what we do. We listen to each other, you know, and we respect each other, you know, opinion. We don't agree with everything each other says, but we allow each other to express that, man, you know. And so I believe that keeps the fire going, because the heart is not heavy. You know, the heart is light. You know, because we keep the atmosphere healthy by us respecting each other. And that's one thing I can honestly say, man. My queen, she honors me as her husband. You know, and I honor her as my wife. If I'm doing any programs or anything, before I do, I say, hey, sweetheart, do we have anything going on? And she do the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it keeps the atmosphere charged with love, you know. And even when we have our moments, man, even when we have our moments where we really upset with each other, we handle it as adults. I can honestly say this without lying. We have never had a knockout drag out. We have never did that, man.
I love it. People think that's hard to do, though. People really think that that's hard to, you know, not to do. I have to get mad at this man, or I have to get mad at this woman. You know what I'm saying? Or the relationship is not real. You know. But yeah.
Well, I never said I didn't get mad. Now we ain't get mad. I said we ain't have a knockout drag. Yeah, now you know, make it clear, make it clear.
There we go. Keep it real.
I gotta keep it real now. Nah, she wanted to whoops upside my head too a couple times. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to be totally honest, man, in everything that you just said, you actually answered my last question. Everything that you just said, you answered. Yeah, y'all just answered my last question. So here's the deal. I want to give a little bit of time to talk a little bit more about your business. I know you mentioned it earlier. You know, how did you guys get into the type of businesses what started it? What was the first business that you guys started? And then how did that kind of
Our networking business, and that came about because we've seen the gaps in our community as it relates to us not knowing enough about one another's products or services. And initially, man, it kicked off because we were actually looking for some African attire to wear, and we couldn't find it. And so, you know, I met a gentleman who ended up becoming my mentor from Ghana, and he actually had a clothing line. And so what we did was we partnered with each other, and we became distributors of that clothing. So what happened was, you know, we actually ended up doing a networking function, because we was like, hey, we need to really bring one another together so we can support each other, you know, practice cooperative economics, JAMA. and find out who's out here, so we can go to the mechanics, so we can go to the dry cleaners, etc. So that's what sparked that. And that's also what sparked our Kevlar lifestyle, so it led to that, and my wife, she actually was a landlord prior to she and I coming together. So it was a venture that she had stopped at the time, and she felt the pull for her to, revisit, that industry. And also we seen how lucrative it would be, and we seen that it would set her up to come off her W-2 job and also enable us to be able to live the lifestyle we want to live and to be able to build generational wealth. So.
Love it. All right, so we're at the end of it. Now let's, you guys have anything else you want to actually add to it? Which is, I normally ask that question anyway. Is there anything else that you guys want to kind of add in passing or in, ending the conversation or the episode?
No, I just want to encourage those that are looking for love. It's there. Like I said, I waited over 7 years for my husband, and I am very, very grateful, and I don't regret a day of it.
And you waited for a black man.
Yeah.
I'll say, I'll say that in joking though, but the theme is nowadays. Yeah, the theme is nowadays you divest from black men. Black men are no good, and black men are the weakest link. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff, man. Today it's just nuts, But man, thank you guys so much for gracing my show, and lending your experiences and things like that, and dropping jewels of wisdom in you guys' marriages and how you came together and how you're staying together. I think that kind of stuff is so important for us nowadays, and I hope the listeners, when they listen to this episode, take away something from it of value and start to implement it in their lives and in the lives of their significant others and stuff like that. Because again, we got to talk about family, we got to talk about community, we got to talk about nation, and we got to find a way to start fixing the problems in our own community. We can't sit back and wait for nobody else to do it. And I think that's part of our problem. Once we get rid of these institutions, whenever they go away, I think it'll be at that point that we realize we got to come together and fix our own problems. But right now, there's too many people that has a vested interest in keeping their hand in the cookie jar, right? And then, keeping them separate and stuff like that, and also benefiting in terms of the monetary side. And I don't think there's too many of us at this point that has realized that yet. But for those that have, man, keep doing the work, keep pushing, man, and we'll be all right. But what about you, brother?
I don't have anything else to say, man. My wife, she actually said it all, man. So, but in regards to you, I want to thank you for inviting my queen and I on to be able to serve our community. It's such a wonderful opportunity to be able to be a blessing to our community and to help people to understand, the true meaning of love, and also to let people know that it does exist amongst us. So thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you guys again. So this has been another episode of the All Things Black podcast, again with your host, Mr. Black Ovation. This happens every Wednesday. Again, go to your favorite podcast listening application or host and like, subscribe, share, leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. If you're using Anchor, make sure that you leave a voice comment so that again, that kind of stuff can be published. And again, like I said, this is new for me. Make sure you donate to the program. I want to be able to continue to bring people on, such as this wonderful couple, to talk about and give you guys some value and stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, this is the All Things Black podcast signing off.
I can still